Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to the Dough Show. We talk about things that have to do with retirement, investing, personal finance, and just general getting your dough straight. If you don't know who I am, my name is Dustin Tibbetts. I'm a financial advisor with Jazz Wealth Managers. We specialize in managing investment accounts, long-term retirement accounts, for those of you that just can't get the help somewhere else. We actually manage our own portfolios where there's no expense ratios, nothing involved, no costs, no fees that you wouldn't normally or that you would normally pay in like a mutual fund or something. We manage our own funds, and so because of that, we can also update you on how things are going. We can also show you the performance and the returns that we have for our existing customers. So check it out at jazzwealth.com. Happy to work with you. Today I want to talk about some stupid money mistakes, and they sort of stem from interactions with people. So the more people that I talk to, of course, you hear some really, really great stories, and then you hear some people that need a little guidance, right? And then you hear people that are just flat out making the wrong choice, and despite whatever you tell them, they're still going to do it, sort of like a stubborn teenager. So I want to go over a few things today. Okay, before we get into this, I want to say you don't have to invest or save every dollar, of course, right? You're going to buy things that other people are going to think are ridiculous. If you got your dough straight, you could buy whatever you want, and who cares what anybody thinks? See, the problem is, down here in Florida, you come down and you enjoy yourself on the beach and you see a lot of fancy cars driving around. Well, one of my favorite places to hang out happens to be in Clearwater Beach, and I get to meet a lot of these people that have these fancy cars. Most of them don't have enough money to afford that car. Once you get talking to somebody, you realize they don't have their dough straight. They're trying to show off. There's a reason why they pull up and they valet, so everybody can see their car that they can't afford, okay? So look, if you can afford stuff, you want to buy certain things, then no problem. I'm one of those guys, I won't buy a fancy phone. I have an older phone and it's like cracked and stuff. I'm not going to buy $1,000 phone. Not my thing. Would I pay for extra room, seat room on an airplane? Yeah, I'm going to pay for the extra room. If it cost me an extra $100, that's kind of where I like to spend my money. And then there's a restaurant in town where it is very pricey, but it is the best, man. And so when it comes time and it makes sense, that's where I like to go eat. So I have different things. Now, I was on a plane the other day, 3 weeks ago now, and a guy had, in the middle row, by the way, sitting in the middle seat, he had those headphones, those Beats headphones, right? Big old ugly looking headphones that don't sound any better than anything else. You're not kidding yourself, right? Look at all the studies. People, they've done studies left and right where they don't show the brand name. You can't tell a difference between the sound. Not only that, they're huge. They're ridiculous. $350, the wireless Beats headphones. The guy goes on to tell me, well, first of all, the music is important to him. We were talking about some of his debts once he saw the shirt and he started asking questions. He had $5,000 in debt. I said, okay, well, what kind of debt is it? He said, well, it's credit card debt. And these Beats headphones, he admitted, were on the credit card. Doesn't mean he's stupid. Maybe he has $5,000 in credit card debt, but he's got his dough straight. Maybe he's got a lot of savings. Started talking about it, doesn't have any savings. Come to find out, he actually cannot pay more than the minimum monthly payment. So he's locked in for about $100 a month. And he's like, that's okay, it's $100 a month. I'll work it out. Eventually I'll pay it off. And I'm like, wait a minute, whoa. You have to pay more than the $100 a month. You are way in the hole here. And he goes, no, man, it's $5,000. I'm like, no, you're in the hole. If you pay $100 a month, you almost will never work your way out of that. You could have a mortgage that is longer than that. And he didn't believe me, so we worked it out. I'm going to actually share this with you here today. I want to show you this. So the person had a $5,000 credit card. Or talk to me now. If you have $5,000 in credit card debt, right? Is it safe to say that most of you that have credit card debt have around $5,000? I think the average is $11,000. So this guy had $5,000, 18% interest rate, okay? That's pretty normal, right? For a credit card, I think that's pretty normal. From what I know, I don't really participate much in that, but 18%. So I didn't really, act too shocked there. I said, okay, here's what we did. And I wrote the whole thing down for him, saved it, and I want to share it with you. If he pays $100 a month, his minimum, I believe, was right at $100, but we'll use $100 just as an example. This is the example I gave him. If it's $100 a month at 18% on a credit card, anybody want to take a guess how long it will take him to pay that off? I'm going to share the exact screen that I shared with him on the airplane. $5,000 on a credit card at 18% interest. If you only paid $100 a month, how long until you pay it off? This is going to shock you guys. It's going to take 472 months to pay it off. $5,000. You think I'm paying $100 a month. Got this down, man. Maybe it takes me 5 years, no problem. 472 months, not 472 days, right? Not 472 payments, 472 months is what it takes. And he's going to spend a total of $13,936 in interest, just in interest. So he's going to pay back $1,396 plus the $5,000 in 472 months. Now you may not believe me. I'm going to show you right from the source here. As soon as I figure this thing out, yep, I got this thing figured out. Don't worry, I'm going to step outside here. Here is the actual thing that we used on the airplane to show him this. Oh, and it's $13,396. I got the number a little wrong there. $5,000, 18%, minimum being 2% of the balance. That's fairly standard. If he makes the minimum payment, do you see it there? It will take you 472 months to be rid of the debt at a cost of $13,396. Come on, man, right? So in my mind, I'm like, you're not an idiot, right? The guy is not stupid because he didn't know, right? And maybe it's his fault for not working it out, but it doesn't mean he's a dumb person. It means that he rethought those Beats headphones, right? We were sort of joking about it, saying, wow, imagine if instead of spending $350, you took $20 extra a month and you put it on this payment, what would happen? So we had some fun with that. And I said, look, what if we do it like this? If instead of paying $100 a month, let's say you paid $200. Where in the world is my thing? I'm going to have to use a rag today. So let's say you paid $200. He thinks, well, he said that he thought he could do $200 a month. And so we said, let's have some fun with that. 472 months, man. The headphones just dropped off his ears, man. He was shocked. $200 a month. Now, if he does that, then it will only take him 32 months, and he's only going to pay $13.13 in interest. That's a 3. Look at the difference. $100 extra a month, 32 months. I'm not saying that's good, but at least he's knocking it out. 472 months. So that's the cost of making some silly financial decision, okay? That's one, okay? You guys with me so much? You still with me? So that's a credit card. Now you guys basically can see from that there's almost no good argument for a credit card. 6% of you can handle a credit card with the rewards points. That's it. So most of us should not have credit cards, right? Simple as that. Okay, here's the next one. I let people call me. If you want to talk, let's talk. Some people are very passionate about the path that they're going to go down. And if you're not one of our customers, then I'm not going to argue with you. If that's the path you want to go down, I'll try to guide you to the right direction. So sometimes people say, I'm saving for a house in the next 2 years. I have X number of dollars. The answer is not to invest with Jazz Wealth. The answer is to just put it safely. Maybe try using bonds. The 1-month bonds, have you seen those 30 days? It may be that. It may be a high interest savings account. It may not be that Jazz Wealth is the best. Here's a guy that calls and was dead set on this. I could not change his mind. I tried. I spent like 45 minutes with the guy because I thought, this is the most ridiculous thing you're doing, and let me try to explain. Guy calls me. He's 30 years old. Let's start with that. He's 30, just turned 30 years old, by the way. The conversation started with a happy birthday. 30 years old. He says, Dustin, I'm a Dave Ramsey disciple. Now, I'm serious about this. I'm not well studied in Dave Ramsey. I try to listen when I can, but I get the idea. He wants you to pay off debt. I don't know a lot of the details, okay? So I said, great. I take it you want to pay off debt. And he goes, not only that, Dustin, I want to wipe out all my debt. I said, well, that's good. There's nothing negative you can say about that. Until he said, I'm going to pay my house off before I start investing. Now, if he was 59 or 58, right? And he said, I'm going to pay my house off before I continue investing, I would have said, okay, how much more do you have to go on your house, right? He probably was close to the end. This guy, I had to write it down here. This guy has no 401k at work, right? So he doesn't contribute. I don't blame him for that, right? No contribute there, nothing there. he was considering a Roth IRA when he pays off his house. Here we go. This is a dumb financial decision. The cost of his house was $300,000, right? $300K. He'd already owned it for 2 years, so he's 2 years into what is a 30-year mortgage. No problem. His goal was to pay $350 extra a month, very admirable, towards his principal to pay down his house. And we said, okay, great. Now he thought he was going to pay off the house quickly, and that's okay. So we did the math real quick. We found out it was going to take him 19.3 years to pay off a 30-year loan. Okay, that's great, right? You expected to pay so much over 30 years, going to do it in 19.3 years by putting $350 extra a month. To do this, by the way, just by using the simple calculator, he's going to save $87,000. That's incredible. Anybody that wants to start paying down their house, you can't argue with that. That's a huge savings on a $300,000 house. We're talking about almost 1/3, and he's already 2 years into the house. So we're talking 1/3 by just simply paying a little more on your house. That's a good argument, right? Here's the problem. He will not invest until he pays off the house, because old Dave Ramsey said, you pay off all your debt, then you go invest. Now, I don't know if Dave Ramsey actually said that, but he told me that that's what Dave Ramsey said. Okay, that's fine. Here's the problem. He's 30 now. He's going to be 50 when his house is paid off. 19.3 years, right? Almost 50 years old. If he starts investing then, well, first of all, how long do most people stay in their house? 9 years, right? If you look up the average, 9 years is how long most people stay in their house. The average marriage only lasts 8 years. So you're already fighting the statistic that you will stay in that house until you retire. But I totally buy it. When somebody tells me they're going to live in this house forever, I go with the benefit of the doubt and say, you know, most people don't say that. So if you say that, then I trust that you're that type of person that's going to do it. So first of all, he didn't tell me that. So he will most likely not stay in that house for the 19.3 years and will have just essentially paid down principal for no reason, okay? Here's the problem. We started talking about, okay, I can't win you over. You're going to do this. I understand you're going to do this. My advice is not to do it. You're going to do it. Let's work out the back end. Let me take a second and try to convince you by working out the back end of this. You're going to be 50. I almost just said his name. I'm so sorry. I was just thinking of his name. I almost said it. No problem. You're going to be 50. How much would you like to live on in retirement, right? Now, by the way, I don't do this for everybody. When I try to make a point, I want to help. So he said, well, in current terms, if I could have about $50,000 a year, given that my house is paid off, then I would be happy. And I said, okay, that makes sense, right? You're going to have lower expenses because, yes, your house is paid off. And so therefore, $50,000 a year in today's terms might make sense, okay? Now, what we did is we assumed $18,000 a year in Social Security. We assumed that he would only make 5% average returns on his investment when he starts investing at 50 years old, because he's a little bit older. And honestly, I think it was 5%, because now he's 50. We can't take aggressive risk. We had to back off a little bit. So we said, when you're 50, you would like to have when you retire, you'd like to have $50,000 a year. When we start investing, after you pay off your house, we're going to expect a 5% return. We're going to expect that when you retire, Social Security will kick in, or some other pension of $18,000 a year. Gave him the benefit of the doubt there. And he wants to retire at 67. I said, let me do this math for you. Let me just sit down and work this out for you. Because if you start paying off your house, I see the benefits. I totally see it, totally get it. But if we get to 50 and then you're going to start investing, I got a bad feeling about this. I would rather see you do $350 and put $10 a month away to retirement. It's stupid, but put it away. It's better than doing nothing. So 50, he wanted $50,000 a year. How much money do you think he will need to invest each year, starting at 50 years old, to reach his goal of $50,000 a year in retirement? Any guesses? It's not good. I'm going to tell you, it's not good. He's going to need to invest $31,000 at the age of 50. Okay? The very next year, he's going to have to go 34, $3,500 at 51. And then each year, he's going to have to add $3,500. All the way until he gets to 67, which was his age. He picked 67 as retirement, not me. Can you put $31,000 a year away for retirement? How are you going to do that, right? There's so many different ways we're going to have to go to make that happen. So I'm not against paying down your house, but this is a great argument to show you why you got to invest something somewhere. It doesn't have to be with me. Keep us in mind, of course. I'm here. I'm hoping I'm doing this as marketing. I hope you choose me. But you don't have to choose me. Go somewhere. Invest in something, right? A little bit. So $100 a month at the age of 30, you're at what we do, $100 a month? $100 a month at the age of 30 is $107,000 a year. $107,000 total, if that's all you did, at that same age. So it's better than nothing. Your house, what if he did $250 a month towards the house and $100 in retirement? Now we're talking 22 years to pay it off. Is that so bad? But now when he gets to retirement, he doesn't have to do $31,000. Now he's got to do $7,000, right? So we're talking much more reasonable numbers, all in due course, right? So I want you to really, really think about that when you go to pay off a credit card. If you have credit card debt, you got to put some effort into it, right? It took no effort to swipe the thing. I know that's sort of the problem with our world these days, but no effort to swipe it. You got to put some effort in to pay it off, or you're never going to pay it off. 472 months, are you kidding me? If you're going to pay down debt, let's make it work, right? Let's find a way to make it work where you pay down debt, but you don't forget your future, no matter where you go to get help with your future, okay? So just wanted to point that out. So Matthew says he always pays his credit cards off within 3 days. You treat your credit card like a debit card. You are one of the you are doing well. The 6% had to do with rewards programs, but very nice, right? And so in that case, my argument would be there's no need for a credit card, right? You get rid of it. Get a secured card so you could still work on your credit score if that's important to you. But then if you just pay it off anyways, then there's no need to have it. You'll be just fine. 472 months sounds a whole lot more palatable than 39 years. Well, yeah, I guess so. I see big numbers either way. Anyways, I'm going to wrap it up there. I'm about as far behind today as one can be on a Monday. So we'll be back at 5 o'clock to do the stock market update. A little bit of moving around today, right? If you're following the stock market, we'll cover it for you. We'll be here at 5 o'clock. Join us. If I helped you in some way today, hit the subscribe button. Turn on the bell so you know when we go live. Really appreciate you guys watching, and we'll be back at 5. Talk to you then.
Why should you choose Jazz Wealth as your retirement or long-term investing service? Our portfolios are managed by us, not some faceless mutual fund manager. Our private classes will teach you everything about investing and getting your dough straight. Best of all, our fiduciary standard means your best interest comes before ours.